Memes are the internet's language, funny, relatable, and everywhere. But can AI make memes as good as humans? I'm on a mission today to build a meme generator and crown the ultimate AI meme lord. I'm going to be testing OpenAI versus Anthropic versus Google's AI models and see which one wins. I'll be judging based on their speed, quality, creativity, and the final product. Hi, I'm Gaurav. I've worked as a product manager in big tech and startups for the last 10 years, and today I'll be using the tool Lovable to do this challenge, and this is a text-to-code tool. So I've divided my prompts into 4 separate steps. At the first step, I'm just going to ask AI to build the basic page and look, and then I'm going to test for speed, creativity, quality, and then the final product score. For the second step, I'm going to provide 5 most popular templates like the Drake Hotline Bling, Success Kit, Grumpy Cat, Doge. And again, I'm going to test for those metrics that I've selected. At third stage, I'm going to ask them to add funny AI captions. And then again, test the results. And finally, I'll ask them to give me an option to be able to download that and also handle any errors. And then I'm just going to look at the final product and see which AI wins. Let's do this. So the first model I've selected is OpenAI, and then I've added my prompt, and I'm going to also measure the time. So let's see how long it takes. So OpenAI only spent about 63 seconds to build this first version, which I would say is looking pretty amazing. So they've already provided a few templates to choose from, or I can even upload my own image, and then I can provide context. And at this point, the only thing it does is just add this text to that image. But I would say it's pretty good for the first version. Next, I'm going to use Anthropic and provide the exact same prompt. And let's see how long it takes. Anthropic spent about 10 seconds additional to OpenAI and took about 74 seconds. But the results also look pretty amazing. So again, they've provided a few templates already for us to choose from. And then again, they also have an option to upload. And then I can add the context and make the meme. All they're doing is similar to OpenAI, just adding the same text to that image. But in addition to that, Anthropic has also given me an option to download the image, which is actually working. So I'm pretty impressed. Now let's see how good Google is. I, again, gave the same prompt, and let's see how long it takes and what are the results. So Google also took about same time, 75 seconds, similar to Anthropic, but right off the bat, I really love the templates which Google has picked over Anthropic or OpenAI. And I also love how they added this animation to AI Meme Maker. But other than that, they still have the same option of being able to upload an image, and it's working, I checked. And then for the context, whatever you add when you press Make Meme, all it's doing right now is pretty basic, just posting the exact same thing. So overall, pretty good result again. So here's my verdict for round 1. In terms of speed, OpenAI was the fastest model. It completed 10 seconds before the other 2 models. So I gave it a 5 on 5, and Anthropic and Google, there was nothing much to choose between them. So I gave both of them 4 out of 5. Now, in terms of creativity, I would say OpenAI did the bare minimum thing, didn't pick a lot of good templates, and still was able to do the bare minimum thing compared to Anthropic, where it had a lot of good templates, but not the best ones, but it had all the features I wanted. It even read my mind and gave me the option to download the meme in the end. And then Google, they did choose the best templates, but they didn't have the download feature. So my verdict for this round, for creativity, for OpenAI, I'm just giving 3 on 5 for bare minimum work. For Anthropic, since it was able to comprehend what I was trying to build and add additional features like download, I gave it a 5 on 5. And Google, because it still picked some better templates and had the best UI, I'm giving it a 4 on 5. Now, in terms of quality, again, I would say OpenAI did the bare minimum, so I wasn't too impressed overall compared to Anthropic. Had the most amazing features in terms of being able to download it, and so it anticipated what I wanted from the app. Google was able to also kind of read my mind, because these were some of the templates that I wanted to upload in the next prompt. And also it gave some really nice animations. So it had the best UX in my opinion. So I would say for what Google built, the quality was 5 on 5. And because Anthropic had additional features, I gave it a 5 on 5. And OpenAI, in my opinion, only got a 3 out of 5 for this. So overall, for round 1, OpenAI scores 11 out of 15. Anthropic is the best model so far. And Google is very slightly behind Anthropic, but almost up there. One key takeaway from round 1 was that the additional 10-odd second compute that Anthropic and Google put in was definitely worth the results. Now, in round 2, I'm just making a small update where I'm providing 5 of my own templates, which are the popular internet meme templates, to the models and see what the results are. Again, OpenAI did it pretty quickly, under a minute, and added those 5 templates, and the code is completely working. Let's see how long Anthropic takes for the same prompt. Anthropic was also able to do it under a minute, but took slightly longer than OpenAI. So I see the 5 templates and everything is working. The only thing I don't like is the template images are not completely visible in the way Anthropic did it compared to OpenAI. So definitely I would say OpenAI did a better job this time. Now let's see what Google does. Google, for some reason, took almost a minute and a half, but the results are pretty amazing. You could see the entire images in the template, and the feature is working. Here's the verdict after round 2. So OpenAI was still the fastest model, and it completed the task within a minute at 54 seconds. So I gave it a 5 out of 5. Anthropic got a similar score for a similar time, and Google was the slowest model, which took around 27 additional seconds. But I would say in the context of vibe coding, I don't think 27 seconds matters that much for a feature. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. In terms of creativity for this round, it was a pretty simple feature and they just did exactly what I asked them to do. So everyone just got an average 3 out of 5 score. But in terms of quality, I would say Anthropic had the worst quality in terms of its presentation, because the templates are not even visible. Compared to OpenAI, you could still see all the templates, but Google added some additional animation to it as well. So I gave Google 5 out of 5 for quality, Anthropic 3 out of 5, and OpenAI 4 out of 5. So now the final product score for this round for OpenAI is 12 out of 15, Anthropic is 11 out of 15, and right now, after round 1 and 2, Anthropic and Google are tied at 25 out of 30, followed by OpenAI, which is lagging a bit behind. Again, it's using the least amount of compute. I think round 3 is going to be the most difficult one, and this is the one where we're going to find the true winner of this championship. So in this round, I'm going to ask them to generate an actual meme using their LLM service. I added my prompt, starting with OpenAI. Let's see how long it takes this time. I might even have to provide credentials, so I'm just going to adjust the time accordingly. So this feature wasn't working really well, so I looked into the code quickly and I saw that currently it's just mocking the response and not actually using an LLM service. And it says in production we would use AI, but right now I'm just making it up. So I just said, because I want to do a real test, I want to make a real call to the LLM to truly judge which one performs the best. I just asked Lovable that I want to make a real LLM call, and it said that we shouldn't hard code our API key to the code base for security purposes. So for now, it's just going to provide me a temporary field, which it's going to forget to make it more secure. And then when we move this to production, we should be connecting to a real database like Supabase to store our credentials securely. So for now, I'll just provide my temporary API key when it asks me for it, and let's see how it goes. All right. So for OpenAI, I've provided the context when Wi-Fi stops working, and I'm just going to click make meme. And as you can see, it's asking me for the API key, which I'm just going to provide it. And we have our first meme from OpenAI. So the context I gave it was when Wi-Fi stops working. And this is the Drake template. And it says, life as we know it comes crashing down. Well, I would say it's pretty decent. Let's try a few more. The next context I gave it for the Doge meme is funny incident at work. And it said, accidentally replied all with cat gifs. Boss wasn't amused, but the team laughed. Okay. Okay, the third context I gave it is Elon Musk, and I gave this distracted boyfriend template, and it came back with, when you realize you forgot to charge Tesla, so your rocket ship is all fueled up. So with this template, it sounds kind of dirty, but overall I would say pretty good, pretty decent, nothing super funny, but decent results so far. Next, I gave the exact same prompts to Anthropic, and then also picked the option to just provide my temporary API key in the front end, which will be stored locally. So it just gave me this option here, and I'm just going to provide the API key I got from Anthropic, and I'm going to give the exact same prompt, and let's see what Anthropic results are like. Okay, so the first context I gave it is when Wi-Fi stops working with the Drake template, similar to what I did for OpenAI, and it came back with work life, reality hits different. I would say not a great meme so far. Let's try the next one. Apparently, we were not actually calling the Anthropic API, and I went back and forth on Lovable with Anthropic, and then it says due to security reasons, restrictions, that browsers cannot directly call the Anthropic API. So it's just using predefined meme templates for now. And unless I connect it to Supabase, it's not gonna just make a call. So for now, I'm not gonna do the integration since I was able to do it with OpenAI. So let's just test what Google does and then make a call. Okay, so I gave Google the same prompt, and then it's for now giving me an option to provide my API key, and then let's try out if it worked. Okay, so I was able to make call to Google's API. So for the first one, I gave context when Wi-Fi is not working for the Drake template, and I came back with my brain trying to function, crickets. Okay, I would say it doesn't explicitly talk about Wi-Fi not working. So for the second one, I gave the prompt funny incident at work with the Doge meme template. Came back with boss said dress for success. I showed up in a onesie. I think it's better than the last one. And now finally, for Elon Musk and distracted boyfriend, let's see what it comes back with. Buying Twitter was a good idea. My brain at 3 a.m. Okay, I would say the best one so far for Google. So I would say overall pretty decent. So my experience in this round so far with OpenAI and Google was pretty good. I was able to make everything work with front end only and providing my API key. So I think Anthropic in this round definitely lagged behind. So here's the verdict for round 3. In terms of speed, all the 3 models responded to me pretty quickly as soon as I gave them the prompt. So I gave all of them a 4 out of 5. In terms of creativity, I found that OpenAI had slightly better memes compared to Google. And also in terms of creativity of the solution, both OpenAI and Google were able to come back with the solution from front end only, and I didn't have to actually connect to a database, while Anthropic couldn't even find a way to make it work temporarily. So I gave Anthropic a 1, OpenAI 4, and Google 3. In terms of quality, both Google and OpenAI had a really good final output and the final product. So I gave them 4 out of 5. In terms of the page layout and giving me errors, Anthropic did a good job. It was able to tell me that it's not able to call the API, and the user experience overall was decent, so I gave it a 3 out of 5. So I gave it another thought in terms of giving creativity scores to Anthropic. So instead of 1, I gave it a 2 now, and that's because I was not actually able to see how creative memes Anthropic would create, and because it gave me only an option to connect to Supabase and a real backend to test out this feature. But then again, OpenAI and Google were able to still give me a way to create the memes from front end only. So Anthropic still only gets a 2. So final score after this round, OpenAI at 35, currently second, Anthropic at 34 out of 45, fallen back after this round, and Google right now leading at 37 out of 45. Now, in the final round, we'll find out who becomes the AI Memelord. For the final round, my prompt is pretty open-ended because I want to see who's the most creative at it. So I asked it to make the app look professional overall and also add the download feature, which allows user to save it as a PNG file. Let's see who wins. First, we have OpenAI. Let's see how long it takes. As usual, OpenAI completed within a minute, and everything seems to be working really good. I gave it the context. When Wi-Fi stops working, it came back with a funny meme saying, life suddenly has no meaning when Wi-Fi stops working. And now you can also see the download button, and as soon as I click it, it downloaded the file. So overall, very good looking website. Templates are visible, very smooth UX. So OpenAI finishing on a high note. So Anthropic again took slightly longer than OpenAI, took 10 additional seconds, but it changed the entire layout a bit and the style of the page. So it now says Smart Meme Maker, and I selected Drake Hotline Bling, and it came up with a funny meme even without using real LLM call, just by using a context-aware algorithm. So overall, I think it did a pretty good job. Finally, Google took the most amount of time, almost a minute and a half. And as you can see, the UX looks pretty good. I gave the API key, picked the Drake template. I love how the templates are super visible. And then I just gave the same prompt when Wi-Fi is not working, and it said, my brain trying to function, it's offline. And now you have a download option, and it works. So overall, a very strong finish by Google as well. And now let's see the final verdict. All right, so in the final round, OpenAI was still the fastest model compared to Anthropic and Google. So I gave OpenAI 5 out of 5 compared to 4 out of 5 for both Google and Anthropic. In terms of creativity, I think they were all the same in this round. So I gave all of them a 4 out of 5. Nothing extraordinary. In terms of the quality, I really liked overall UX the most of Google. I think it's super clear, everything is visible, and I don't know, overall it's just my vibe score. I like this the most. And then the second most, I would say, was OpenAI's UI. And then finally, Anthropic, I think, had way too much going on. So that's why I gave Anthropic 3 out of 5. So there you have it. Google turns out to be the winner in this final round as well as overall.